Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 3 of the GT3 Masters 7th edition at rrleagues.com. Very happy to welcome you all back after 2 weeks. And 2 weeks ago, our race at Suzuka was a nail-biter. I'll tell you all about it in just a few seconds. But firstly, let's have a look at what is still to come today. Monza will be a sprint race weekend, and we'll go into detail on that very shortly. So for today at Monza, we're looking at our first ever sprint race weekend at RR Leagues, which means that we will have a 15-minute qualifying session coming up in about 5 minutes, then a 30-minute race, and then we are set to do it all over again with another 15-minute qualifying session and then a 60-minute race. So a lot of racing still to happen tonight, and probably some great action for everyone to see. As you can see, it's also changeable weather conditions, and you might have seen in the background we see reflections of a wet track. It's not currently raining on the server, but the track is quite wet. Everybody tiptoeing around to get a feel for the grip levels and which tires to take for the qualifying session. Now, let's have a quick talk about Suzuka, and I'll leave you with some nice images of that race here. It was a nail-biter, I said, but that was the case not for the win, but for all the other position. It was a really close fight. However, it was Max Bayer in the end winning officially with over a 48-second gap over his closest contender, which was James Mead. But there was some drama inside the top 10 with Bram de Pretre picking up a drive-through penalty in probably second or third to final lap, and not serving that penalty, and thus taking a 30-second penalty, putting him back into 7th position. We also saw Rob Taplin, who was running in the top 5, dropping back with a big penalty because he didn't seem to have put enough fuel in the car during his splash and dash in the middle of the race, actually. So both drivers dropping back down the order, but it was still a nail-biter. It was Max Bayer, James Mead, and Marvin Mackenberg filling out the podium. Cliff Bilke taking another 4th position for the team, and Sven Mackenberg making it so that R2E, the teams with his brother Marvin, took the most points from that Suzuka race. This will give us these driver standings here. Max Bayer at the moment taking the lead over in this Drivers' Championship with quite a healthy margin. 31 points over Bram de Pretre, Cliff Bilke in 3rd, Marvin Mackenberg in 3rd position. Then it's Ralph Arella. And as from this round, you can also see the AM tag with some drivers. So after 2 rounds of racing, we combine fastest race times, do some calculations, and assign some drivers the AM tag to compete in their own little championship. They are just running on the track with the same machinery, same rules, but they get their own crown to fight for. And at the moment, it's Sven de Wulf in 21st position overall, taking the lead in that championship, but only 4 points ahead of Patrick Wust and Dirk White with 28 points. So in the end, it's all still very close, of course, after only 2 rounds of racing. 6 more rounds to come and 2 races here today. Points for these 2 races today will be split evenly, so 50 points up for grabs in each of the races. No calculations based on race length or something like that. So a nice evening of racing up ahead. Let's have a quick look at the Teams Championship, because intense racing is at the top of that championship, but with only 10 points advantage over R2E, the Mackenberg brothers, Team WRT. Suffered a bit of a blow with the Pretres demotion after the checkered flag, and Amadeo de Keizer not joining us for Suzuka. Grizzly Racing is not too far back, 77 either. Then it's quite a big gap to VSP Racing, but everything still to play for. As I said, still 6 rounds of racing left to go. And then finally, let's have a quick look at the Nations Cup. And at the moment, it's Germany taking the lead there with 9 drivers over 11 drivers for Belgium, but their average point scoring for Germany is a bit higher. Finland, with only 1 driver, Tommi Kosunen, is in 3rd position. So the drivers, as you can see, are rolling out of the pits. The track is still wet, and we'll move on over to the action. So here we are, back racing, back with overlays, split times, all the nice stuff, and got another tool running here so we can have a better view of who is doing what during the qualifying session. So hopefully you'll be informed very well throughout this session. If you have any questions about the racing, the streams, the drivers, anyone you want to follow in particular, just let us know. So a shorter qualifying session here today, but action-packed nonetheless. We have 32 drivers on the grid, so a bit more than at Suzuka. Unfortunately, still 9 drivers of those signed up not on the grid today, so let's hope that improves for the next round, which those who have seen it in the opening image is Bathurst, 2 hours coming up in 2 weeks. But at the moment, let's focus on the racing. Let's focus on qualifying here at Monza, a circuit where it's always very, very close for qualifying. So we have a yellow flag, and well, let's go on board with Bram de Pretre. Who is already on his fast lap, coming up onto the second chicane. Bram de Pretre currently fastest in the practice server, so he's one to watch, and the track is drying up nicely, I must say. On the TV cameras it looked like it was still quite wet, and it also says it's wet, but track looking quite dry, so people will be struggling with tire temperatures throughout this session, that is for sure. Let's see what the first banker lap for Bram de Pretre will be. For those just tuning in, 15 minutes of qualifying on the way now, then a 30-minute sprint race. After that, another qualifying session and 30-minute sprint, 60-minute sprint rather, with no mandatory pit stops. Didn't tell you that yet. Green flag for Bram de Pretre. Very tricky to get the power down here, coming out of Parabolica. Let's see, as first times will be dropping in 153.4. Bram is the first one to set a lap, so let's see. Ivan Sander 53.7. Times will be flowing in now. Max Bayer going quickest with a personal best, or a session best, in Sector 2. Let's go back to let's see, so at the moment it's Sven Mackenberg quickest in Sector 1, Florian Kutz quickest in Sector 2. Overall, quickest is Max Bayer. Everybody getting around their laps, and let's see if we can find our AM Cup leader, Sven de Wilf. He is currently in 6th position. But as you can see from the outside cameras, the track's still very, very slippery. I think everybody probably on wet tires, but they might get really hot throughout this session. Who else? Everybody is more or less improving. The gap at the front at the moment, half a second, so quite a big margin. But the Predre Camaletto, he was hoping for some rain. Pavlacek as well, so paradigm shift at the moment. Setting some good initial laps. Let's see how the track evolves, and if it gets any quicker. It will dry up, that's for sure. It's set to stay dry for the next half hour, but will there be time enough to switch over to slicks? I don't think so. Ivan Sander coming back. I don't think I saw him at Suzuka, but 3rd position at the moment for him. Sven Mackenberg then in 4th position, and the gap between Sven de Wilf and his closest contender Hannah Song is 1.4 seconds, so that's a big gap. De Wilf dropping down, but still a good initial lap, and that's what you want here. As I said, times will get very close as Bram de Predre sets a 152.9 and gets ahead of Max Bayer. The Mercedes working a bit better here than at Suzuka in the dry. Let's see who is one to watch. Rob Taplin. Let's have a look at Rob. He is at the moment 6/10 up on his own personal best. And also the top 4 are improving. Sven Mackenberg 4/10 up. So let's see how Rob gets it through Parabolica, and where he ends up after this lap. He is still 1.1 seconds up. He will be very, very close to the top of the timing sheets. Straight to the line and jumps into 1st position. Nice lap by Rob Taplin. He wants to get revenge for that, yeah, we can say it, unfair penalty. He had a bit of a ACC glitch there, I think, in the pit stop. Nothing anyone can do about that, but takes it on the chin, moves on, as Ivan Sander as well, very close into 2nd position and ahead of Bram de Predre. So the track is improving, and the gap to final position, 29th currently, is Dirk Weigt, 13 seconds back, so not a great lap for him yet, but well, I always say plenty of time as Cliff Bulke eclipses Rob Taplin in the Porsche. Superior rear traction there for the Belgian. Let's see, Simon Verzeil was also right there during Suzuka. Also had a bit of bad luck. I think he got a disconnect. Let's hope he got those issues sorted for this race. Very nice livery, and the 2 Red Bull Roadrunners driving line astern, trying to get some slipstreaming going. Let's see who is improving. Bram de Predre 5/6 up on his own personal best. So one to watch. Cliff Bulke also improving from pole position with 6 minutes left on the clock. Quite a couple of drivers still improving, so you will see people jump up and down the order. Bram is on a flyer, 5/10 up at the moment, so that's provisional pole position for him if he gets that lap done. Yes, it is. Bram 52.4, and the track improving. So who will be the last car on the track That big slide there for Simon. Currently in 8th position, Simon Verzel. And as we can see, the AM Cup drivers getting ever so more closely matched. We also saw it in the drivers' standings. These guys are very closely matched, and it's always nice to have a bit of a story inside the story. There's always big stories here on these RRL Masters races. Let's have a quick look. Hannah Song. Can he challenge Sven de Wulf in this qualifying session? He's coming up on Parabolica, and he has a bit of slipstream from that must be Cliff. No, sorry, that's David, who moves out of the way. Hannah is 5 tenths up, so she will jump into 10th position. Great job. And Sven has some work to do. The other Sven Hecke, 2 tenths back, as everybody will now be coming out of the pits for their final runs. If people are not staying on the track, of course, depends on how the tires are feeling here in these conditions. It's 15 degrees, 17 degrees track temperatures, are quite cold. Might be okay for these wet weather tires. So at the moment, it's Team WRT at the top. Bram de Pretre, Amadeo de Keizer, and Bram 52.2. He has now a big margin over second spot. Let's see what he can do there. Who is improving? The top 4 is actually improving on their own lap times. And Max Bayer, let's have a quick look with him. He is, let's jump on board. Max Bayer at the moment 5 tenths up on his own time. That won't put him into pole position, but it might split up the WRT Mercedes. But they are themselves improving. Bram 2 tenths up, Amadeo 2 tenths up. Let's see where Max ends up. He's our Drivers' Championship leader, as you saw. So he wants to get as far up the grid as possible. Not a perfect exit there from Parabolica. Still, he will gain 3 tenths, and that will gain him a lot of spots up into 5th position. Who can challenge Bram de Pretre? Tommy Kosonen in 10th is also 4 tenths up. Very tricky conditions. The race start will be one to watch, though it's virtually in an hour's time, so the track might be dried up then, but we might be seeing another rain cloud coming in. Bram 2 tenths up on his own time. Who is improving massively? Tommy Kosonen still. Let's see. Kosonen coming through Parabolica. He is half a second up. So he's gonna be there or thereabouts with Rob Taplin. Yeah, second spot for Tommy Kosonen, so 1.5 minutes on the clock for this session. And for those watching, let me know if the audio levels are a bit more balanced. Oh, a bit too wide there for Tommy. I think that's lap over. Let's see. Yeah, he's pulling over, so no more improvement from him. Pavlacek, that had a shocker of a race at Suzuka. Technical issues, not the best pace, and a couple of incidents. P7 right now, his teammate Camaletto P14. And on the power. So our top 3 are in the pits. De Pretre, Kosonen, Taplin will not be defending. They're happy with their time. Who can improve? Cliff Bilke is 3 tenths up on his own time. That puts him in second spot if he can keep it together, but he's dropping back. Pavlacek now also not improving anymore. Big mix of cars there in the top 10, as you can see. And Hannah Song at the moment taking AM Cup pole in front of Sven de Wilf, 4/10 between them. And that's the session over. Everybody finishing their laps. Amadeo de Keizer 2/10 up on his own time. Can he still get it going as Pavlacek crosses the line? Does he improve? No, he doesn't. De Keizer then. Let's see. Is he still on a fast lap? Yes, he is. He's 2.5 tenths up. Ivan Sander is 4 tenths up. So still some people who can improve. Amadeo has 6 tenths to find, so that won't be easy, especially on your teammate with the same machinery. He's losing a bit of time. Sven Mackenberg and Ivan Sander, they are improving. Let's see if they jump up the order. De Keizer will not be improving. Let's have a quick look at Sven Mackenberg, who's following Cy Fillingham in 9th at the moment. Pretre Bayer puts himself into 2nd spot, Rollins into 4th. So Taplin dropping down. Again, Sven Mackenberg. He will be improving his 4 tenths up. That will gain him quite a lot of positions. Let's see, 13th becomes 6th position for Sven Mackenberg, but it's Bram de Pretre taking pole position in very tricky conditions here at Monza. Max Bayer is 2nd. Tommi Kosonen in 3rd position. His teammate for Finger Racing is in 20th, Florian Kutz. So an epic qualifying session, and now we have a 30-minute sprint race. Normally, no mandatory, well, there are no mandatory pit stops, and normally we won't see. As we can see at the moment, the track looks to be dry. But we'll have to see once the session starts if any rain is upcoming. So a great qualifying session. You can see the top 20 here. Let's see if I can give you a better view of the rest of the field. So after the top 20, it's Sven Hecke actually taking pole position over Hannah Song. Sorry, I missed that. Nigel Wood, 23rd. Sven de Wilf, 24th. Then it's Marvin Mackenberg, Stefan Vierloos, Dirk Weicht, Nemanja Manojlovic, Ruud Dennis, Helen Voice, Kurvelds, and Martin Hughes. So all of our AM Cup competitors outside of the top 20. That will be a fun battle to watch. Now let's see, we have some drivers who are open to talk to us in the formation lap. And let's see if we can talk to Sven de Wilf and maybe Cy Fillingham if we can squeeze that in. Let's first see if they are both in their respective channels. Sven de Wilf is there and Cy Fillingham is there as well, so we'll jump in very shortly as they maybe try to fiddle with their settings still. So we give them the time, but once that formation lap gets going, we will take the opportunity to disturb them. As I said, Sven de Wilf was looking like he would get pole for that AM Cup, but let's see if he thinks if he can get Sven and Hannah and defend from Vierloos, Weicht, etc. Everybody now getting on the grid.
10 seconds.
And we'll first go with Sven de Wulf. Here he is. He gets going. Let's get talking. Hey Sven, can I quickly interrupt you?
Yeah, sure.
So you got going. Looks like it will be a bit of a tricky start to the race with a greasy track, but how did you feel in that qualifying session? We saw you fighting with Hannah and the other Sven.
It was a difficult qualify session with the wet track that dried up but didn't dry up quite enough for slicks.
Okay. And how do you feel with in the battle with Sven and Hannah? Will you have a go?
We'll see what the first laps bring,
yeah,
and how the track progresses.
Yeah,
from
indeed.
there.
Looks like it's gonna remain dry for these first 30 minutes, but let's hope for a clean first turn one, and then build from there. So we'll be following the AM Cup battle around for this race. Good luck,
okay.
also to Frank.
Thank you.
Hey, Sai, can I interrupt for a minute?
Hi, Miguel. Yep.
Hey, hi. So, tricky qualifying session. I just talked to Sven. How are you feeling? Just behind Ralph. Was looking like you were in front of him for quite a while at the end there, but not quite.
Yeah, I seemed to adapt to the wet conditions quite well, really, and car felt really good. But yeah, just looking good in third position for a few moments. But yeah, then the further the session went on, got a few more places. But yeah, very happy with 11th, I think was on. So
yeah.
See what we can build on from there.
P12, not a bad position to start in, right?
No, better to be nearer the front than nearer the back, especially here at Monza. So yeah, let's just hope for a clean end chicane and then settle down and get into it.
Yes, indeed. Well, good luck, mate, and let's hope for a clean first lap, like at Suzuka.
Cheers, Miguel.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
So always nice to hear from our drivers. Sven, looking for a good race, a good start to this evening, because the evening is still long, as we said. And then also Cy Fillingham setting a good lap there for P12, starting behind Pavlacek and Dore, Tom de Munk, etc. So very nice indeed. Let's see if we can pick something up from the chat. Of all the starting weather that we would get, says Rob Taplin, indeed it's just dry. Everybody has been practicing quite a lot in the wet, as the server got pretty wet indeed. But well, that's it. You have to take it. And here we see Bram de Pretre and Max Beyer. That was our battle for the lead at Suzuka as well. But there it was Max at the front defending. Everybody lining up. We'll follow Tommy Kosonen in third position. That's a great lap for him. Let's see how the race start unfolds. Let's go indeed. Green light, and Bram de Pretre gets going, gets a good start. Kosonen didn't get the best start. He's getting passed by Kevin Rowlands, it seems. Bit of a higher camera there. Oh, and there's a crash in the back. Unfortunately, let's hope that doesn't affect the whole rest of the field. The rest of the start was quite clean, but Kosonen dropping 2 positions in the end. Let's see who was it? Adam Voice and Florian Guts unfortunately involved there, still on main straight. The rest of the pack gets going. Here they are all streaming into this second chicane. Let's hope that stays cleanish. Kevin Rowlands, Rob Taplin make the most out of that slowish start from Tommy Kosonen. So that's how our race leading pack looks like. De Preter, Bayer, Rowlands, Taplin, Kosonen and Cliff Bulke. He wants to get past Kosonen as quickly as possible, wants to get past that Ferrari and challenge for or with the guys in front. Having a look at Arella as well at the very back of the pack there with Paul Heron, Rob Taplin's teammate. They get going again, and that Mercedes is looking very bad. Could this be one of those days where Arella doesn't make it to the end of the race? As we talked about earlier, it's a rare sight to see Arella not finishing a race, but he is trundling around, so he will be coming into the pits. Where is his teammate P10 for Cy Fillingham? So he got through that, and Arella was just a bit too far ahead, but he got involved in an incident later in the lap, probably. Here is our, what is it, top 9 with David Dore at the back of that pack here. You see him behind Amadeo de Keizer as Sven Mackenberg sets the timing sheets on fire with his first purple lap. Everybody now has to settle down, but it's only a 30-minute race. No pit stops to save you. No other gimmicks, just pure pace to get you to the front of this field. Gap at the front, 0.6 of a second. And I was saying, Weicht got to the top of the AM Cup standings. Sven de Wulf dropped back all the way to P22. And as I can see, Sven Hecke is in last position. Arella, Heron, Hoedemakers, Fillingham now also dropping back. So he was in 10th position just seconds ago. So it looks like either an incident or a spin. Let's see if we can talk to him. He's right behind Florian Kutz, so we'll talk to him a bit later. Let's let him cool down, of course. First, Arella, Heron, Hoedemakers in the pits at the moment. And here Dore has a bit of a gap to Tom de Munk. What does his helmet cam look like? Very loud, it looks like, but he sees the whole field. Oh, as there's one of the cars rejoining the track. That's Sven Mackenberg. Went wide and rejoins, but stays in 6th position at the moment. De Pretre eking out a gap, almost 1 second now. I was talking about that AM Cup. They're all tightly packed together. Dirk Weicht, Hannah Song, Kurvelds, Dennis, Vierloos, Manojlovic is there in between. Then Martin Hughes, P21. So moved up the grid quite handily in those opening stages of this race. And then Pavlacek, Voice, Marvin Mackenberg, Sven de Wulf, all people involved in incidents. Monza is such a brutal track in the first lap. Very tough, especially, even more so in sim racing. People driving in VR have a bit better spatial awareness, but if you're driving on one screen, it's just very tough to get a good view of your surroundings and not cause anyone any issues. Sure, no one does it on purpose, of course. Let's see, Simon Verzeil. He is right behind Tom de Munk. This is a nice pack there. De Munk, Verzel, Penny, Camaletto. Very nice collection of cars. 3 Ferraris, 1 Aston Martin. And some very nice liveries indeed. Taplin stays within striking distance of Rollins. Dore with the Kaiser as well. Here everything stays as it is. Hecke, Heron and Arella are still in the pit lane. So nothing good will come from that from this race. Hecke and Heron in pit exit, but Arella still getting repairs in pit lane, unfortunately. Here Tom de Munk just got passed. Just got passed by Simon Verzel. And in the back it's Camaletto, Alessandro Penny. Camaletto gets past, but very close there to spinning each other out. Yeah, indeed. Unfortunately, already before turn 1, someone got sideways, and that's always a recipe for disaster for anyone that comes up behind and is sometimes unsighted. Oh, a big slide there for Camaletto, but he keeps it on the black stuff, fortunately. Wanted to go have a look. On board with Rob Taplin. Does he have the straight line speed to make a move? Looks like that BMW driven by Kevin Rowlands is not too shabby in a straight line. That will help him defend from Rob Taplin, who seems to have the pace in the corners. Veikt was open to a chat. He had a good start to the race at Suzuka, but it went downhill after about 20 minutes, if I remember correctly, as looks like Penny, he got past Dirk Veikt, so Veikt really moving up the order, and of course, as I said, doesn't have to let these pro guys go, if I have to say it like that. Everybody is on a level playing field. If you have the pace, then you have to get going. Let's see. Veikt lets Penny go, it seems. They were side by side, but not the battle that he is in. Good to see everybody being sensible. There's a 20 minutes left on the clock. And also Hannah Sung teammate James Mead not here today, not feeling well, unfortunately. Would also be someone probably looking at that top 10. And everybody settling in their positions. Martin Hughes running in P21 now, followed by Radek Pavlacek, and following Stefan Firlos. The BMW working well, it looks like. The gap at the front, 2 seconds, and Rob Taplin still within half a second of Kevin Rowlands. He just needs to try and force a mistake, maybe. So our top 10, De Breiter, Bayer, Roland, Staplin, Bulke, Mackenberg, De Keizer, Dore, Kossenen and Van Zande. Very nice top 10, but some people are still lurking. Verzeil, De Munk, Camaletto, not too far back. Still some chances there as Taplin and Rollins. Taplin got past in Parabolica, it seems. Can Rollins defend? Can Rollins get back ahead in the braking zone for turn 1? He has some straight line speed. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. Turns it in. Side by side. Very nice. And Rollins gets back past. Taplin was in front, but was unable to defend. Even on the inside line. Took it maybe a bit safe, but that's what we want to see. We don't want to see guys crashing out left, right, and center. Taplin moves to the inside now. On the braking. Ooh, a bit late, and now Rollins has to let him go. Let's see if he can fight back or if Dore can be there to fight Rollins as well. Bumper to bumper racing. Very nice move there by Rob Taplin. As I said, getting some revenge for 2 weeks ago at Suzuka. Up into the podium spots again. If I'm not mistaken, that's where he was as well at Suzuka. Bulke P5. Let's see, because here the battle for the AM Cup lead is heating up through Variante Ascari. It's Hannah Song for Alfa Shazoo Racing. Getting close to Dirk Weigt. Weigt not the greatest exit, and behind him Manolovic and Kurvels also very closely following. Weigt is not easily phased. So everybody is back on track. Arella is currently in last position. Heron and Hecke are in front of him. And just wanted to see Hoedemakers and De Wulf. That's a battle for position down in 28th and 29th position. And De Wulf lets Hoedemakers go, it seems. Yeah, he is has some laps in hand after being in the pits for so long. Let's see, Dore is still in 8th position. Penny and Camaletto still battling it out, and Penny has had some massive action here in these first opening rounds. We've seen him time and time again at Valencia, at Suzuka, and now again here in Monza. Rollins and Bulke and Taplin as close as ever. And Dirk Weigt need to catch that. Dirk Weigt got passed by Hannah Song. Can he fight back? That McLaren looking a bit wide there by Hannah. The gap at the front, 3.5 seconds, looks safe. But here it's another battle for the lead, and it's as close as ever. Looks like another big slide there as the track is evolving. It's dry, and we are indeed halfway through. Where is Dirk Weigt's teammate Nigel Wood in 23rd position? Penny and Camaletto still battling it out. Stefan Vierloos. Oh, as Weigt went wide. And again, Camaletto and Penny. These guys are not letting each other go. And Van Sander in the top 10, but he wants more. Can Camaletto size up another attack on the Aston Martin? Oh, now another big slide there for the Ferrari. And there we see Hannah Song right behind, as Dirk Weigt has Manojlovic in the background, whose teammate Damian de Grasse was injured. Unfortunately, has to take some races off. But again, Cliff Bilke, we missed that, but he got past Kevin Rowland. So Kevin, at the moment, dropping back. Very sorry we didn't catch that, but action up and down the field. And it's still very close here inside the top 10. Everything spread out only just a little bit. Big slide again there for Bilke. And Amadeo de Keizer dropped out of the top 10 as well just now. He's in P12. So mistakes are being made with 12 minutes left on the clock. Everybody pushing as hard as they can, and that can sometimes bite you. Very wide there as well for David Tore, defending from Kossinen and Van Sander. Let's have a quick look further back here. Ruud Dennis. Ruud Dennis right behind Stefan Vierloos, right behind Frank Kervelds. Let's go on board with Ruud. Has provided us with all these amazing graphics for the stream, the standings, etc. Vierloos in front. You can see it's quite tough to get onto the power still coming out of Parabolica. And this is essentially the battle for the last podium spot in the AM Cup. Oh, there's Kervelds, Sven Duel's teammate, going across the first chicane. We'll have to relinquish a bit of time there again. But these guys are not letting each other go. Fillingham is only 3 seconds behind, so trying to move up the order after a bit of a rough start, after a good qualifying session. And yeah, well, P22 gives you some good points, but it's probably not what 77 we're looking for in that team's championship battle. Good driving by Ruud here. He's keeping these guys honest and under pressure. I'll try to keep an eye out for this battle. Let's see if Vierloos can challenge Kervelds. Oh, and again, coming out of Parabolica, very tough. Manojlovic and Pavlacek as Firlos goes for the inside line. If these guys start battling, then Ruud will be right there. Look at this. Let's see if the helicam can give us some good shots. Yes, it can. Firlos with quite a bit of speed there, braking. A bit of a tap there from Ruud, but no harm done. And it's Fillingham closing right up to these guys. I'm curious to see what will happen when Sai comes up on the back of these guys. Sai is in the pro class, but that doesn't mean, as I said before, that they have to let him pass or that he has to think he can just pass them easily. They are there on merit in the top 20, so they have to be dealt with accordingly. 4.7 seconds. Bram de Prater very dominant. No big issues for him at the moment. As Simon Verzel sets the fastest lap. Let's have a quick look. He's right on the tail of Ivan Sande in that VSP Racing car. The quickest lap of the race. Not too bad. Let's see, a 47.5. That's a tenth quicker than Bram de Prater's fastest lap. Let's see, Hannah Song, Viked, drop back from Hannah Song. Now Pavlacek and Manojlovic got in between them. They're in a battle of their own. Pavlacek and Manojlovic and Dirk Viked here, right behind these two. He wants to follow these guys through and get back on the tailpipe of Hannah Song. Put some pressure in these final 6 minutes. Simon Verzel again. Let's keep an eye out for Dirk. Can Simon make the most out of this good run out of Ascari? Aston Martin versus Ferrari. Moves to the inside line. Late braking. And Simon has quite a bit of grip in hand, it seems. And they're right behind Tommy Kosonen as well. They're pulling each other around the track. Currently, de Prater Beyer Taplin for our pro podium. Again, very close. Very nice battle here with the two Belgians. If Simon is Belgian, not sure. No, I don't think so. And still Song at the front. Oh, as we see Dore sliding his way past the camera there in front of Kosonen. This battle is as close as ever. Tom de Munk is a bit further back, but very close there. And Kevin Rowlands is still trying to get that P4 back from Cliff Bulke. Let's see. As I said, Cy Fillingham getting past the first AM Cup hurdle, it seems. Keurvelds, that was. Now he has Dennis Vierlos and Viked in front of him. Can he mix things up in that battle? We'll have to see. Especially the battle between Vierlos and Dennis. Keurvelds unfortunately dropped back there. But Pavlacek and Manojlovic got past Hannah Song. So it looks like she let them through. And that puts her right back with her closest rival, Weigt 8 tenths behind at the moment. Here we are, Filos in the foreground, Dennis right behind, and then it's Cy Fillingham. Sven Mackenberg, we didn't see a lot of him, but he's in P5 at the moment, so not doing too bad. A bit of a quiet race, but that's never bad. Simon Verzel still through the Lesmo corners. Oh, now up the inside of Yves Vincent. This must be it, surely. Gets it stopped. Oh, yeah. Gets past. Very nice by Simon. Up into P9. And well-deserved Bram taking the fastest lap again from Simon, but still. And we see this is how close the battle for the AM Cup lead is. Oh, puts a wheel on the grass. Luckily, gets it stopped. And Ruud has let Cy Fillingham through. To the Variante Ascari over the curbs. 2 minutes 30 on the clock. So about 2 laps. Oh, and a big slide again. And in the front, Pavlacek and Manojlovic. They have been battling for quite a while here as well. We'll hear about that surely after the race. Manojlovic going wide now. Pavlacek is in front. Can Manojlovic get back at him? He lost a bit of speed there coming out of Parabolica. And we see Weigt going for the inside line in the background. This stays as it is, but Weigt gets it stopped and gets that lead back from Hannah Song in the final 2 minutes of this race. So we'll have to see what happens there, as we see, or we didn't see unfortunately, but Sven Mackenberg got past Cliff Bilke for P5. Whether that was on track or due to a mistake, we'll hear about that after the race. But very, very close indeed. And we have a 60-minute race coming up after this one, so don't run away. Don't run away.
Alright, man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
Final lap there for Bram de Pretre. And as I said, Sven, a bit of a lonely race. Oh, and Cliff comes into the pits, so not sure. Didn't take enough fuel then, I guess. Oh, that would be a very costly mistake. He was running P5. Must be under fueling. Don't see anything massively wrong with the car, which would force you to pit with 20 seconds to go. But that will give quite a lot of people some positions. Gets dropped back down. Yeah, that's a splash and dash. Didn't take enough fuel. Let's hope nobody else gets caught out by that, as Manojlovic and Pavlacek start their final lap. And still Weigt in front of Vierloos, in front of Weigt in front of Song, in front of Vierloos, but Cy Fillingham is right there with them, carrying around Cy wants to get past, he wants P18, he wants to get those points for 77. And in the background we have Ruud Dennis, Cliff Bilke joins in this massive battle pack for this final lap. We'll have to see how that ends, because here is Bram de Praetre taking the win for race 1 of this sprint race weekend. Optimum conditions for the track, dry, and a big congrats there to him. Max Bayer takes 2nd position. Rob Taplin will take 3rd and will not get a penalty here after crossing the finish line. Rollins in P4, Mackenberg in P5, Dore in P6. Then it's Kossenen, so good result for him. Verzeil, De Munk, Van Sande, De Keizer, Penny, and let's see, Camaletto across the line. And a battle with Pavlacek puts Pavlacek on top, so paradigm shift P13 and P14. Dirk Weigt takes the win in AM Cup in front of Hannah Song, Vierloos and Verzeil, but look at this, very close finish there for quite a lot of these drivers. Marvin Mackenberg, P24 for him, Florian Kutz, and these are all the guys involved in lap 1 incidents. Kutz, Voice, De Wulf, Martin Hughes, P28. In the end, Hoedemakers, Sven Hecke, Paul Heron, and Ralph Arella. But looks like Sven de Wulf is still on the track. Still has to finish. But goes to the line and, well, quite a while behind his AM Cup contenders. He was involved in some lap 1 shenanigans, unfortunately, but he has a whole new qualifying session and race coming up to get redemption. Action-packed race 1 here at Monza, and let's see if the weather spices things up even more for race 2. We'll be moving into a short practice session, 3 minutes, and then we'll go into 15-minute qualifying and a 60-minute race. I'm going to quickly have a sip of water and then we'll see if we can talk to anyone about this first race. So everybody staying in the pits for this session. Let's see who is available. Marvin and Sven. Let me have a look. Sven and Marvin. Yeah, they're open to a chat. Let's have a look. Hi Marvin, hi Sven. How was that race 1 for you guys?
Yeah, it was not a great performance actually, but I'm pretty happy with my result.
Mm-hmm.
For Marvin, it was a bit different,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, indeed. Lap
Not
1
really
was
sure
not.
what happened.
Well, there was. I think I saw a BMW sideways already on Main Straight, so that caused some issues for the guys further down the field, and then yeah, unfortunately, probably also some incidents in the second chicane, but we didn't catch those on camera.
Yes, the start was really difficult. I also kind of hit a puddle just before braking for turn 1.
So
I
it was
almost
still a
lost the
bit
track.
wet.
Yeah, just on the outside.
Ah,
the
yeah,
track,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
still a bit wet. I managed to keep it going straight, but yeah, that's not easy.
No. Yeah, it wasn't clear from the cameras that it was still a bit wet, but that could mean a bit of
Green light, give it all you can.
things more difficult for the drivers. Well,
Yeah,
I would say have a good second race. Let's. Do you hope for some weather playing a role, or are you happy with some dry?
I'm okay with it staying dry, but I'd like some light rain.
Yeah.
Heavy rain is not that good for me, but light rain should be great.
All right. Let's see. Well, still more than an hour's worth of racing, so relax it just a little bit, and then good luck later.
Thank you.
Cheers for you too, Marvin. Let's hope you get a better start to race 2.
Yeah, it is difficult to get a worse start.
That's true. That's the spirit. All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
Hi, Dirk Weigt. Can I
Hello.
interrupt for just a second?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So, how was that first race for you?
For me, it looked like a shit show from the back, going straight through all of the cars that crashed in front of me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it was a bit of I don't know what happened, but I was luckily to go through and made my way up.
yeah.
I don't know what happened after.
Yeah, we saw BMW sideways already on Main Straight, but then I just talked to Marvin and Sven Mackenberg, and they said it was still a bit wet offline when the race was starting, so maybe that caused some issues. But yeah, Monza is never easy, especially if something happens already before turn 1, then it gets difficult very quickly.
Yeah. But
But
I had a fun drive. It was good after all. So
yeah, yeah, it was a
uh,
very we caught quite a lot of your action for this race, so a good battle for the AM Cup as well with Hannah,
yeah.
and some drivers as well involved in incidents that were trying to get past as well, so was quite interesting.
Thank you. At least we have a good view of my actions.
Yeah. We got those. So yeah, good luck for the second race. Are you hoping for rain or rather not?
Rather not.
Rather not. All right.
Oh, I like dry races more,
Mhm.
but well, we will see what will happen.
Yeah, of
We-
course.
Oh,
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Let's just hope for a cleaner first lap. That's always a good start.
yes, yes.
All
Thank you.
right. Good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Green light, green light. Go, go, go.
So we are back driving. That means that the qualifying session is back underway. Let me get my overlays straight for you guys. And we're back. 15 minutes of qualifying. A bit cloudy, but still. I saw some comments in the Discord. Where is the rain? We'll have to see how the weather evolves. But some people happy with their race, other people a bit less. But well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's sim racing. Everybody can have a good or a bad day. And let's hope the second race is as eventful and as exciting as the first one. We'll be moving to the qualifying timing screens once again. And everybody getting on their outlaps. Can Bram de Pretre get another pole position? This session, the track is optimum, so a whole different ball game for all of the drivers. And again, let's go on board with Bram. As he starts his first lap, and see what a optimum qualifying lap around Suzuka looks like. That was not perfect through the second chicane, but plenty of time to improve, of course. Bram always seems to be the first guy out of the pits. I don't know how he does it. Ascari coming up now, hard braking just under the bridge. Let's see if that lap time is valid, but will be a good banker. We will be down in the 46s, I guess. .47.8 for the Bredre, and he is towing his teammate around. Let's see, the Kaiser right behind, so he's gaining a bit of time with that here at Monza. That is an important team tactic to use if you can. And only 10 minutes left on the clock for this qualifying session already. Let's see who is improving. Everybody getting their first laps in. Alessandro Penny with a strong lap there. Wide there for the Kaiser. Hoedemakers goes quickest. Must say that's a bit unexpected. I haven't seen Hoedemakers there yet in the past when I've been on the track with him, so a good lap. That means that the Kaiser, the Bredre, etc. still have some time to find. Or will we have a great upset as Simon Verzel goes in second? But Hoedemakers, let's have a quick look at him. He's going quickly in the Ferrari. Bayer, quick. Taplin, quick. Filling him, not too bad. So after the second run, we'll see where we end up. Bram de Bredre setting things right already. 46 as I said. 46s we get 46.7. But a good run again from Hoedemakers. Bayer up into second position again. Pavlacek will jump up the order as well. But a very nice livery there for Red Bull Roadrunners. Oh, and that's a bit wide. I don't think that lap will count for Manu. And again, that battle in the AM Cup is one to watch. De Bredre, Bayer, Hoedemakers, Taplin. Let's see. Yves van Sande is going quickly. There he is, the VSP Racing. He's just behind Fillingham. And he is improving. De Bredre 3/10 up on his own lap time. He does look like the man to beat. Again, it's looking like dry weather, at least for this session. When we move to the qualifying, to the race session, we'll see. But at the moment, all that wet practice in the bin. De Bredre 46.3 now. We'll see as things settle down. Van Sande up into P6. Not too bad, not too bad. Hecke also stopped on track. Let's have a quick look. Nigel Wood in P9. We didn't see a lot of him yet today, but he is in P9 and improving 2/10 up. And with these perfect conditions, of course, times will be closer and closer than ever. Hoedemaker still in P3. Verzeil P10 at the moment. Nigel Wood puts himself in 3rd position. Verzeil now takes that spot away from him. And for the rest, Keurvelds, let's see. Keurvelds improving quite massively even. Cliff Bilke as well. 1.4 second up, but hasn't set a time yet. Let's see, through Parabolica, where does Cliff Bilke end up in his first flying lap? 1.7 seconds. This won't be too bad. De Preter by Verzeil, Bilke 11th. Still a whole second to find. And well, we go back to Hoedemakers, P5, and he is improving by 0.3 of a second now. Taplin and Wood in the pits, setting up for their final laps of this session. But that Ferrari from Manu Hoedemakers looking very nice indeed. Simon Verzeil was doing very well at Suzuka, as I said, and this qualifying session puts him right back up there with everybody. Hoedemakers almost 4/10 up on his own time. This will be a whole different top 10 than we had last time around, it seems. We'll see. 5 minutes to go. Hoedemakers gets a good Ascari run. He's losing a bit of time here, but still he will be improving, and he might catch Taplin and Wood and jump up into P4. Wood thinks P5 is good enough. Well, he has some time still to jump out, but here it is. Hoedemakers up into P3 as expected. Good laps there from him. And De Preter's teammate De Keizer, P15 at the moment. We'll have a look at Max Bayer coming out of the first chicane only, but he did gain some time there. A 10th. Yes, 4/10 to find. Ivan Sande as well, going quick. And what does it say for the AM Cup? It's at the moment Frank Keurvelds. 1/10 in front of Sven Hekke. Another 10th in front of Stefan Vierloos. Then it's De Wulf, Weicht, Song and Ruud Dennis. So close and closer. Bayer not improving massively. Who is improving is Cliff Bilke and Radek Pavlacek. Let's see, where is Pavlacek? Going into Ascari. He is 2.5 up, but Cliff Bilke 6/10 up on his own personal best, so that will put him right around the top 5 rather. And Nigel Wood has decided that it's enough, so filling him up into P7. I think things will still change drastically, but Pavlacek to the line and up into P4. Massive improvement for him. Who else was improving? Bilke up into P7 now, and Ralph Arella He is a couple of tenths up and coming up to the last sector. Again, Arella more than half a second now. Bayer ever so slightly improving, but the Pretres seems to have this one in the bag. If no one else gets some massive improvements with Pavlacek. 3 tenths up on his own time, 4 tenths almost. Was going a bit too quick, it seems. There's Arella P4 for Ralph Arella. He wants to stay out of trouble. Let's see Simon Verzeil. This is getting very interesting indeed. Now the whole top 7 improving, except for Bram de Pretre, of course. He is the leader. And he has less to gain than all the others. And as you can see, behind the Pretre, very close, very close, very close. And that's, well, Simon Verzeil and Hoedemakers. They are they teammates? Yes, they are. So that's a very nice team result for them at the moment. Pavlacek, just lost it, it seems. Oh no, sorry, Pavlacek up into P2 now. I just lost him, but he jumped up the order. Sven de Wulf now eclipsing his teammate Frank Keurvelds by just a tiny margin, but takes the AM Cup qualifying lead at the moment. Who is improving? Max Bayer is coming up to the second chicane only, but he is improving. Can he get in front of Radek Pavlacek, who is in the pits? So we can expect nothing more from Pavlacek, from Hoedemakers. The Pretre is on a lap, but he's 3 tenths down, so I don't think he will be especially improving. As the session ends, Max Bayer 2.5 tenths up. Will this be one of those special laps in the Lamborghini? Variante Ascari will be very important. Jumps across the curbs. And he loses a bit of time, unfortunately. So he can catch Pavlacek still, but the Pretre will be out of reach. Sven Mackenberg still improving. Marvin Mackenberg P14. So right around the middle of the field. Bayer will not take P2 from Pavlacek. So Pavlacek, very nice qualifying result. Cliff Bulke also not improving, and Marvin Mackenberg, let's see, he is not improving, obviously. Is there someone still on track? Tom de Munk is still on track. Is he still on a lap? No, he isn't. So that's qualifying done. And as you can see, the whole AM field is there, very closely matched. Sven de Wulf, Dirk Weigt, Frank Keurveld, Sven Hikke, Stefan Vierloos and Hannah Son. And then we move to the top of the timing sheets. Bram de Pretre 3.5 tenths in front of Radek Pavlacek. Max Bayer, Manu Hoedemakers, Ralph Arella, Mackenberg, Verzeil, Fillingham and Rob Taplin. So we'll have to see who gets a good start. Let's hope we get a good first lap, a bit better than the first race, because that's always providing some better racing, especially here at Suzuka, that's for sure. Where is Dore? Let's see. I see Bulke in 10th. Dore not on the server anymore. Dore dropped out due to internet issues, unfortunately. Anyway, everybody now setting their car up. Can we already see what the weather is looking like? Optimum track, dry conditions for the next half an hour. So at the moment, the rain doesn't seem to be coming, and the drivers get ready for race 2. We'll catch the action live and direct. Very eager to see what this different top 10 will produce. Pavlacek, been a long time since he was that far up the grid in a Masters race, if I'm not mistaken. Hoedemakers, first time there on the second row. Verzeil was there in Suzuka, Taplin as well. Kosonen was a bit better in the wet qualifying session. Still out qualifying his teammate Cuts. Heron in 18th. His teammate Taplin in 9th. And as I said, Cliff Bilke for Intense Racing will have to take the points alone. Let me quickly check the team's standings. Yeah, Intense Racing was leading that championship, but pretty sure that won't be the case for the next race. And if you want to follow that one, that will be in 2 weeks' time. Same time, same place here at our YouTube channel for the 2 hours of Bathurst. Always a cracker, always a very difficult race for all of the drivers, and let's hope we get a 30-plus driver grid as well for that race as we get ready for our formation lap. Oh yeah, so that's why Martin Hughes dropped back a bit. He was running P21 for quite a while in the first race, but unfortunately, just like Bilke, pretty sure he underfueled the car and didn't get it done in time, so had to go in for a splash and dash. Everybody now warming up the brakes, warming up the tires. And we'll have to see who has a bit of a compromised setup, maybe for some wet weather. As I said, we have 1 hour of racing on the clock. But we'll, if I look on my clock, we'll get late this evening. Anyway, not important in the slightest. As we see this great field of cars, all of these liveries, most of them handcrafted by the teams. So a very nice job there. Sven de Wilf, he will want to get some redemption and get some good points. As I said, just as many points on offer for this race as for the race 1, 30 minutes. Oh, sorry, there is Dore, P22. I thought I had missed him, but P22 just in front of the AM Cup guys. optimum track conditions. So no wet outside line or anything. Let's hope everybody can keep their nose clean in that first lap. We saw it in Suzuka. We did the stewards review and it was completely clean for the first lap, and that's always providing some cracking racing, especially here on this slipstreaming track. De Pretre then, can he get another good run off the line? This time it's Pavlacek he has to worry about. Bayer is now right behind him, and Hoedemakers behind Pavlacek. Everybody lining up. You want to be as far forward in your designated box as you can. Get as much advantage as you can. And I see the two VSP Racing cars, Van Sande and Penny, behind each other. As we start the race, I just realized what VSP means. Alright, good going. There is a green flag. De Pretre gets going, and another bad start from the second place man. No, sorry, that was Kosonen last time around. He was in third spot. But Bayer will quite easily get the lead, or second spot there. As we go through the chicane, at the moment everything looks cleanish. Everybody getting through some bumps, but that's to be expected. Let's move a bit further back. Yes, yes, yes. Very nicely done, everyone. Now keep that up for the second chicane, please. Hoedemakers and Pavlacek side by side. Oh, great racing there. And yes, we navigate the second chicane cleanly as well. Hoedemakers taking P3 away from Radek Pavlacek, and Martin Hughes, I expect, is not in first spot. He is actually in last position. And as I said, Pavlacek, yeah, behind Hoedemakers, Arella P5, Mackenberg P6, Fillingham P7. So a lot better start for the 77 guys. Sven Hecke got a great start in the AM Cup. He's in P19, sorry, with 3 cars between him and Sven de Wilf. So that's always something that you want to see. Cliff Bilke. This is where the action is a bit further down the field through Parabolica, too wide all the way. Dore already gained 2 positions. Let's see. Verzeil versus Fillingham, and in the background Penny, I think, or Ivan Sande, Nigel Wood. Bit too much action to find a good one right now. Taplin, Rollins, everybody trying to settle down. Fillingham. Oh, a bit of a slide there for the VSP Racing. That's Ivan Sande in the dark one. No harm, or no real harm done. And already the gap in front, 1.6 seconds, but as I said, a clean first lap gives you great action as we see the whole field streaming past here, coming out of Lesmo 2. Here is the gap at the front again, De Pretre and Bayer, but we move a bit further back. Paul Heron, 2 spots behind his teammate Rob Taplin. Kevin Romans in the Augustus Racers sandwich. Let's go for the other camera set. Oh, as there's Sven Hecke going up the inside of Dore. Yeah, Dore being hunted down there. Ivan Sanders, Marvin Mackenberg, as close as ever. Can Dore follow Tommy Kosonen? Or does he need to leave Sven Hecke some room? Sven Hecke moves up. Oh, there's a bit of a tap there. Sven Hecke unfortunately turned around. Needs to get going again. Oh, that's unfortunate. Spun out from the lead. Small tap there by Dore. And unfortunately, big consequences for Sven Hecke. Hoedemakers keeping up. Well, 1.5 seconds behind Bayer, but keeping Pavlacek, Arella, Mackenberg, Verzel, etc. behind. That puts Sven de Wulf back in front. Here he is, leading a pack of angry AM Cup cars behind him. Kervelds is not behind anymore. It's Cuts. Oh, sorry. Alan Voice, Ruud Dennis, Stefan Virlos. Great AM Cup that we have assembled here. I must say, very close. And all of them really going for it. And again, Cliff Bulke, the intense racing guys, really having to fight for all their points that they want. Now it's with Marvin Mackenberg, and the Lamborghini has some great straight line speed. Penny makes it 3 wide, and Penny is going to win that battle. Gets it stopped. Very nicely done by Alessandro Penny, taking 2 spots. This race will be one for the history books. Only 7 minutes or 6 minutes gone already, but action left, right, and center. Dennis for P2 in the AM Cup. Stefan Virlos, a bit deep there from Dennis, but gets going. And I think that's Sven de Wulf who was off there in the background. Yes, it is. So this could put Dennis up into the lead of the AM Cup. We'll see when the timing sheets refresh. No, that's still Hallam Voice in front. Hallam at the moment taking the lead there. Ralph Arella got past Radek Pavlacek, and Pavlacek now has another Red Bull World Runners Ferrari to worry about, that of Simon Verzel. Ferrari's working very well here. 3 inside the top 6. It looks like Simon running a bit less wing. Bit of net code, but good exit there from Simon. Radek is on the inside line now. So we'll claw back a little bit of time there. Late braking, and Simon gets it stopped. Gets the move done. Meanwhile, I must say, Hoedemakers keeping Bayer honest. Bayer has to look in his rearview mirror, can't focus on Bram de Pretre. And Ralph Arella now P4 for him. Nigel Wood had a bit of a worse race in race 1. P8 currently for him. His teammate Dirk Weigt is in P25, 4th position in the AM Cup at the moment, and still everything very, very close. Camaletto, as we've seen today, battling left, right and center. His teammate dropping down from P2 to P6, but no big issues yet for him. In a good position, that's for sure. 2 finger racing cars now. Nose to tail. Looks like those Red Bull Roadrunners are running almost no wing. Here's Florian Kutz with his teammate Tommy Kosonen putting the wall up against Nemanja Manojlovic, it seems. There's the German flag, Finnish flag on the other side. And some good running. Manojlovic in his McLaren will be watching. Let's see what that looks like. Not too bad. Nemanja almost looking like he found another gear there. Still the track looking like it's going to stay dry. Gonna go for a move. Nemanja must be able to try and get an advantage as Florian and Tommy Kosonen Simon Fillingham in the pits, not sure why. Oh, very unfortunate. Was running so well, but needs to pit it. Not sure. Can spot. Well, bonnet is a bit up, but nothing crazy. Oh well, we'll see if we can find out. But back to the action. Manojlovic with 3 Ferraris up in front of him, and I think now it's Kutz getting past Kosonen, and now Kosonen getting back at him. Nemanja has nowhere to go, and they have Hallam Voice, leader of the AM Cup, right with them. That's right with Hallam. Must be quite stressful to be that close to a fight. Oof. Oh, on board. Very big crash there. Nemanja gets it going. And that's Sven Hekke reclaiming the lead of the AM Cup. Oh, big shunt there. Hallam too late on the brakes. Tried to avoid Manojlovic, but unfortunately he couldn't. And that looked very, very scary from the onboard. Meanwhile, Verzeil has brought down the gap from Arella from 2 seconds down to 0.7 at the moment. So he is certainly one to watch. Red Bull Roadrunners 3 and 4. Could be very cool to see. Pavlacek hangs on to his P6. He has Sven Mackenberg behind. Marvin is in P11. And Sven Hecke, with all of that drama, takes the lead of the AM Cup. Not sure where Halam is. Has dropped back to the pits. Yeah, he got a big shot there. Not too unlogical. Dropping back for some repairs, and Fillingham got going again. He's a lap down, and with Yves van Sande, who is running in P8. So not ideal, but if he can get a bit of an advantage there, then that might be perfect. As we said, no mandatory pit stops for this race. We'll see if any pit stops are necessary. But here we are, Simon Verzeil. 2/10 now. Will he immediately go for the move? Yes, he does, but he goes way too deep, almost it seemed. But no, gets it stopped and gets the move done on Ralph Arella. To be honest, I've not too often seen a pass on Arella made so easily. Can Arella get back? Halicam. Nice defensive positioning from Simon. Off to chase his teammate, I guess. Or can Arella stay close to him? Maybe Manu and Simon are running low fuel numbers and they're coming in for fuel. We don't know. We'll have to find out in the next 45 minutes of racing. Meanwhile, Dekwijkt, second spot in the EM Cup, Sven Hecke. Quite a while up the road now. Yes, Heron, Bilke, Manojlovic and De Munk behind him, and in between these guys. And as you can see, it's 7:23 p.m. so it's getting dark as well. If rain comes later on, this might give us a very special spectacle. The gap at the front 3.2. Hoetemakers now dropping back to 1.3 behind Bayer. And Kuts and Kosonen still nose to tail. De Munk getting past Manojlovic. Dekwijkt wants to stay out of trouble. Very wide there for the two of them. Let's have a look at that from the onboard of Wijkt. Will we see a repeat from Hallam Voice? I don't think so. Wijkt gets himself a bit further on the inside. biked with some pace advantage over Manojlovic, that's for sure. He has the inside line, he has the better exit from Parabolica. Can he get the move done? Behind them, it's Gervelds and Kevin Rowlands. Wright gets it stopped, and sets his sights on hunting down or closing the gap to his teammate. He has Bulke, De Munk and Manojlovic. Manojlovic not anymore. De Munk and Bulke behind them, or between them. Sven Hecke at the moment. Let's have a quick look where he is at. Running quite well. It would be really amazing to see if we don't get any rain here. Oh, Radek Pavlacek has dropped back from 6th to 8th and is now behind Ivan Sande, Sven Mackenberg. Can he get back past these guys? That must have been a small mistake from him. He was nowhere near a close battle. Van Sande, bit of a tap, another tap. Oh no, 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 no. That's Marvin Mackenberg turned around. Yves, gentleman that he is, brakes and stops to wait for Marvin, but very unfortunate. Very easy to do, getting on the power in the chicane and then getting caught out by someone slower on the apex. But that at least gives Pavlacek his position back. That was a bit unexpected. Meanwhile, Sven Mackenberg is behind David Dore, and we're already more than 20 minutes inside in this race. And here it is. We see Ivan Sande waiting until Sven Mackenberg in P12 gets back past and now gets back racing. That's what we like to see. Incidents are never on purpose, but if you can own up to it and let your victim back pass, that's always a good sign of good sportsmanship. Also for later races in this series or in our leagues. Well, Rob Taplin has moved up the order quite a bit. He was a bit further down earlier, but now he's back up into P9. Not where he was in race 1 on the podium, but still. His qualifying session was a bit worse for the second race. And at the moment, Sven Hecke very dominantly in front, as Ivan Sande will try to make another pass on Sven Mackenberg, and he does so. Now it's a clean move. So job well done by Yves, and now he can carry on and harass David Dore. In the top 5, it's a bit quiet. But other than that, Paul Heron, didn't see much of him yet today. P17, he has Cliff Bulke behind. Where is David Dore? P10, so Dore from P22 to P10. And Bulke, unfortunately, dropping back to P18, so swapping the bad luck around for intense racing, unfortunately. And still no rain forecast. Bulke versus Heron. Oh, Heron just gets back in front. Look at that suspension suffering. Very wide there for Heron. Can Cliff get a move done into Parabolica? Yes, he can run the outside. Very nicely done. And now on to the next one. And here we can see Hoedemakers. They're not getting a lot of screen time, but Hoedemakers staying with Max Bayer. Any small mistake by Max, and Manu is right there to take advantage. Very nice to see. And Nigel Wood versus Tom de Munk. Wood was in front of de Munk, I think. Yeah. Not anymore. Ferrari versus McLaren. Can Wood get back at Tom into the braking zone for the second chicane? Oh, very late braking and avoiding action. Fortunately, not piling into the back of de Munk. That McLaren looks used, let's say. And still, to say here, battle in the AM Cup, Keurvelds versus Dirk Weigt. And Weigt just got past, looks like. Weigt getting his sights set now on Sven Hecke, but he's quite a bit up the road. And looking, Kosonen and Kuts also split up, so they were running together for a while, but now Kosonen moved up the order. Kuts versus Bilke. Don't turn it in. That was a bit naughty. But superior traction from the Porsche just leaves both the Lambo and the Ferrari in the dust. Florian now has to defend from Paul Heron. The inside line is Paul's. Yeah, too wide into that corner. Very tough, but not too unfair, I think, to keep it there around the outside. They have plenty of time to battle it out on the track, that's for sure. Alessandro Penny has been within half a second of Pavlacek now for quite a couple of laps now. Can't seem to get closer, but doesn't fall back either. Dirk Weigt then. Let's see. He is not too far, or was not too far back from Kevin Rowlands. As I'm going to quickly restart my broadcasting tool because those timings are not updating anymore. Voila, we are back. So what is that gap for the AM Cup? It's 3.5, not that much, 7-8 seconds between Hecke and Weigt, so plenty of options, plenty of time still. But with 30 minutes left on the clock, there's no rain to be seen. So it looks like it's going to remain a dry race. Anyone who gambled on slippery conditions for this race. Took the wrong gamble. It looks like so far the only thing wet that we saw was this the first qualifying session where it was drying. We just came out of a wet cycle, it seems, and now for these races it has stayed dry. Sven de Wulf, by the way, at the moment in last position, 4 laps down. So the AM Cup will be a championship to watch before Bathurst in 2 weeks' time. We'll have a look at those standings for sure. Heron and Cuts still battling it out there.
You're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
The gap at the front down to 3 seconds. Bit of a slow lap last time around for De Pretre, or a quick one for Bayer, not sure, but that gap not growing massively. Bilke versus Hecke. Will Hecke defend? Yes, he does. Jumping over those curbs, really putting some pressure on the mechanics of the car. A really tough track to drive on, Monza. Ooh, has a look on the inside, but Hecke is having none of it. A good exit. Now I think Bilke, he has the inside line, but he doesn't have the overlap. So Sven can defend, puts his car in the middle of the road. Hecke wants to keep as many cars as he can between him and his AM Cup competitor Dirk Weigt. De Pretre and Bayer sitting almost identical lap times. Hoedemakers as well. Verzeil at the moment. Last lap was quickest of the top 10. Well, of anyone actually. So Verzeil. And there goes Cliff Bilke into Lesmo Bilke. Oh. Can he keep it out of the barriers? Seems like he can, but loses some time, some positions. He'll be a bit angry because that was not necessary, I think. Will he lose another position to Tom de Muunk? Yes, he does. Has to refocus and get that time back. As I said, Simon Verzeil with the fastest lap of the race as well. 47.4. Just, and this was on this last lap, so Verzeil flying. Bayer, Hoedemakers closing the gap down to De Pretre. The gap was 3.5 seconds. some time ago. Now it's down to 1.7. So does the Pretre have an issue? Let's see. Seems to be some delay between me clicking the driver and the camera moving, but seems like the Predator is in clean air, so that gap noticeably coming down. So what is up there? As we see cuts with Heron in front, but he has Hecke behind, Bulke behind, Rollins behind. This is a big pack of cars. Korsunen is right behind Jack Camaletto as well in front. Looks like my broadcasting tool has gone once again. Let's see if we can restart it. The IP address. Korsunen and Camaletto. I'm going to quickly go to the garage and see if we can switch it around a little bit like this while I try to fix the tool. That gap, as I said, coming down quite quickly at the front, 1.1 seconds now. So either Bayer has a bit in hand or there's a bit of an issue for Bram de Preter. Maybe some fuel issues, maybe he underfueled a little bit, expecting some rain, and it's obviously not coming. Let's see. So I'll quickly give you some other images, like the Drivers' Championship, and I'll try to restart the game, get this going again. We will be right back with you, and if it doesn't work, will go for the action like we had it just a few minutes ago.
Green light. Go, go, go.
So we are already having some images back. Now let's see if the tool wants to connect, and if not, yes, yes, yes. All right. Back to the action. The Predator got going again. The gap back to 2 seconds now. Okay, let's get back to the racing action. As it's getting a bit darker. Let's have a quick look at the AM Cup, because that seems to have spiced up a little bit. Sven Hegge now only has Tom de Munk between him and Dirk Weigt. There is some 6 seconds, but still a bit too close for comfort maybe. For these final 20 minutes of the race, can't afford to make any mistakes there, Sven Hegge. Weigt, and then it's Hannah Song, who is a bit further back, a couple of seconds, 15 even, so that's quite a big gap. And Manojlovic is riding together with Fillingham. We'll have to see what happened there, because he was running at the front of the field, P8 I think it was, and then dove into the pits. Fillingham a couple of laps down, he's in the battle with Tom de Munk and Sven Hegge in front. So again, Fillingham mixing it up with those AM Cup drivers and providing some extra entertainment for them. R2E setting their sights forward. We have Marvin Mackenberg closely following Alessandro Penny, and we have Sven Mackenberg half a second back from David Torres, so they are looking to move up the order in these final 20 minutes of the race. I need to, of course, remove that image. Very sorry for that. Here we are, back to full racing action. So that gap at the front, not looking too comfortable for Bram de Pretre. Has to keep his wits about him. Let's have a quick look, because Hegge, it's Fillingham, moves out of the way for de Munk, and that must be Manojlovic. Yeah, he let Manojlovic through, but I was interested to see how de Munk and Hegge get along. Because yeah, Weigt is not too far back. Can the Mink firstly get close enough to Hecke to challenge him, and then will Hecke battle for that position or not? Very simple, nice looking livery there for Tom de Mink, I must say. A very nice color. And Verzel and Hoedemakers really not dropping back too much from the lead, so they are there battling for the podium on merit, which is always nice to see. It will give them a big boost going to Bathurst, a boost in willingness to practice, etc. A good result always gives you a good kick in the butt. So Bayer and Verzel sharing the fastest lap of the race, exactly the same time. Bayer setting it last. But means that they are quicker than Bram at the moment. We'll have to see if 2 seconds in 14 minutes is doable for Max, or if Bram has still something in his back pocket. Mackenberg now really piling on the pressure. On board in the Lamborghini. Marvin needs a good exit here. Gets one, but seems like the Aston Martin is very slippery on the straight line. The gap between Hecke and Weigt looked like it was shrinking a bit, but not yet. De Mink, in any case, still behind Sven Hecke. Again, Marvin create a chance for himself for P7. As I said, his teammate Sven not too far behind the other VSP Racing Aston Martin, so they'll be sharing information on where the weaknesses of that Aston Martin are. See if they can both get past the VSP Racing guys. The gap at the front still 2 seconds, and Taplin is right behind Mackenberg here, with whom we are riding on board. Really throwing the car in through Ascari. De Munk got past Sven Hecke. A gap 5.8 seconds. Hecke just has to put his head down and he can win the feature race here of this first ever sprint race weekend. And I must say it was yeah, good evening's worth of racing. We did expect some weather during the races, but at least we got some of that action during the first qualifying session. Oh, and Taplin, let's have a quick look. Yeah, Taplin is right there. So Taplin gained about a second here on that last lap. Very impressive, 7/10 of a second quicker than Marvin Mackenberg. Of course, closely following. Oh, and we lost, well, lost not, but Sven Hecke has lost the lead of the race. What happened to him? This is something we need to try and find out, I feel. Let's have a quick look. Sven Hecke, where did it go wrong for him? Oh, that's where it went wrong. That's what I was looking for. He was passed by Tom de Munk. Wanted to get back past, it seems. Yeah. Oh, a bit of a side-by-side tap there with de Munk, and Sven Hecke only had a bit of margin lost out there, trying to get away as quickly as he could. And Dirk Weigt already passed, so that's what happened to the race lead for the AM Cup. Dirk Weigt getting it handed to him this time. Of course, you have to make sure to be there if the chance arrives, and he was very much there or thereabouts. So currently Weigt, Hecke and Song on the podium for the AM Cup. Mackenberg still behind Penny. Sven Mackenberg still behind Ivan Sander, and gap grew just a little bit. Martin Hughes then only 1.5 second back of Frank Keurvelds, and no underfueling for him this race, I hope, so he can make it to the end and maybe challenge Keurvelds in these dying stages of the race. Verzel 1.1 seconds behind his teammate Manu Hoedemakers. But we go back to Rollins, Cuts, Bulke and Rollins. That's our three-way battle for P15. Can Guts defend from Bulke? Going into Parabolica, 7 minutes left on the clock. Sends him the long way around. Now has to keep it close and on the power as early as he can. Good straight line speed from the Ferrari, and Rollins biding his time just behind these two. Almost a small tap there from Bulke, and he has good traction, as we said already, out of these chicanes. Guts taking the defensive line into the second chicane. The gap at the front now back to 3.2 seconds. And they are through Lesmo 1. And then Lesmo 2. Oh, and a drive through for Van Sant, so that will hand Sven Meckenberg a top 10 finish, it looks like. Very unfortunate here with 5 minutes left on the clock. Always something happens in these last 5 minutes, whether it be massive on-track action or some penalties. Very unfortunate for Van Sant. He must be kicking himself, because a good result with his teammate Alessandro Penny was very much on the table, 7th and 10th position. Now, it won't be awful after that penalty, but you're throwing away a couple of positions. Let's see. He might end up here in this battle with Roland Spilke and Kuts, but Roland is now having a go. Can he get it stopped in time? Yes, he can, but he has to leave the position. And in the background, quite a lot of action as well. Let's see, Verzel 0.7 seconds behind his own teammate. Who will get the honors of taking the podium spot as we complete 30 laps of this race. Now it's Roland's back, and Bilke and Kuts. So never a three-way battle, but always two of the three almost touching. Kuts at the moment taking the advantage for P15 in this race, so good defending from him. As we know, Van Sant still has to take the drive-through penalty, and I think, yeah, well, he better take it. We saw with Bram last time around, it costs you 30 seconds, and I don't think it costs you 30 seconds if you take it while the other cars are driving around. So take it, maybe challenge for a position there in the end, we'll see. But P10 is not for Van Sant, it's probably for Sven Meckenberg. And again, Cliff Bilke wants that P15. His teammate Torre is in P12. But they are the team's championship leaders. Probably not anymore. To be honest, where is Amadeo de Keizer? Not in the server anymore, so it's the Pretre for Team WRT on his own once again for this second race. Do you have any other close battles? This one is very much the closest. I say that. Firlos and Manojlovic. As we race into the dark and Van Sant comes into the pits, Manojlovic gets past Firlos for P27. And Bilke tried to challenge Kuts through Ascari and lost out to Kevin Rowlands. Can he get that position back? Oh, Eve, no. Speeding in the pit lane costs him a stop and go 30. So that will drop him all the way down the order. Unfortunately, there he is in the background, Ivan Sander. Very, very unfortunate. And Sven Hecken, after a mistake or an incident for Dirk Wijk, taking back that
The leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
lead position in the AM Cup. So still action in these final few minutes of the race. The leader is on the final lap. He does have 2.5 seconds in hand, and these battles are still brewing left, right, and center. Simon Verzeil here coming through the first chicane, less than half a second behind his teammate. This is for the podium. Will they finish the race as it is, or will there be some drama between the Red Bull Roadrunners Ferrari outfit? Marvin Mackenberg and Sven Mackenberg, 9th and 10th position now. So Taplin has gotten past Marvin Mackenberg rather than Marvin getting past Alessandro Penny. The gap now 0.2. Let's go on board with Verzeil. Will he take that podium spot away from Manu Hoedemakers? Will be very, very close, and we'll have to see in just a bit because Bram de Pretre rounds the final parabolic turn here in the dusk at Monza and takes another win in front of Max Bayer. Max,
The leader has finished the
great
race.
result as well for him in the Drivers' Championship. Manu Hoedemakers will take that podium spot. Very nicely done. It's a formation finish. Simon Verzeil in third, and Ralf Arella will finish in P5. Radek Pavlacek in P6. Alessandro Penny will finish in P7 and Rob Taplin P8. So P3 and P8 for Taplin, and Marvin Mackenberg right there with him, followed very closely by one of the W&W Racing Team cars. Dore then, Kosunen, Camaletto, P13, Rolands, Ivan Sander unfortunately still didn't get the time to service stop and go 30, I think. So will be penalized after the race. We'll see that result in just a bit. Then it's Kevin Rowlands, Paul Heron behind Ivan Sander to the line and finishing as well. Tom de Munk, Cliff Bilke in the end, getting out in front of Florian Kurtz. And Kevin Rowlands quite a while ahead of these two. Something must have still happened. Oh, Kurtz has not finished the race yet. He is trundling around, so he is out of fuel. Anybody? Let's hope he makes it across the line. I think he will. Yes, he does. Oh, very unfortunate there. 22nd position for Kurtz, and the only one still on the track at the moment, Martin Hughes, and he is stuck. Someone please help Martin around the track, maybe. It doesn't look like it. Maybe David. Looks like someone is coming out of the pits. No, Martin again running out of fuel, it seems. Let's see if we can get anyone to... David is still there, I see. So let's see if we can help out. But, well, let's recap. Bram de Preter, another win here at Monza. In front of Max Bayer, Manu Hoedemaker, Simon Verzel, the revelations of this race. Red Bull Roadrunners, then Ralph Orella, P5, and Pavanacek in P6. For the AM Cup, it was Sven Hecken in the end, still getting ahead of Dirk Weigt in P3, and Frank Keurvelds seems to have taken the P3 spot, but we'll see. And there is who is helping Martin Hughes around. Is it Max? Yes, looks like no chance of pushing that BMW around, unfortunately, but it's a nice sight to see. Now I'm going to put up some images from Suzuka again and recap this race. Yves Van Sant got a plus 60 seconds and ends up finishing in P22 before the stewards' reviews of both of lap ones. Let's see if we can have anyone in the commentary booth. Yeah, there's Martin. We just saw your end of the race, unfortunately, Martin. Looks like Max couldn't push you around anymore. Couldn't get
No,
you moving.
I was struggling mate, all race. I had a really bad grading phase of the tyres about 10 laps into the race. I'm just coming out of the second Lesmo. I wasn't the first person to do it because I saw the tyre tracks on the
Yeah.
on the tarmac, but yeah, into the inside wall. And ever since then, I was losing at least 2 seconds a lap, and it drove nice and whatever. But you could just see the delta just like going down and down, and it was it was a struggle. And then to top it all, ran out of fuel in the last lap, so not my greatest day.
Just like the first round, right?
Just like the first race, yeah.
That's unfortunate. But I think we saw you a couple of times. You had a pretty good race, I feel.
Yeah, I'd say Monza's one of my favourite tracks, to be honest. And as much as I don't get on with ACC as a driving thing, and the setups are just very strange on them now since the new update, I just can't get my hands around them, to be honest. But I enjoy driving with the lads. We had a few good battles out there, but I always knew I was onto a hiding, as I am with every race this season. But I'm more upset with the sprint race, to be honest, because that's my own stupid mistake. I was going really well, missed all the trouble.
Yeah. You were P21,
everything that
I think.
went on ahead of me. Yeah, dodged it all, and I had the place on Nigel behind me. I was making really good ground, and I thought if I just stay here, and then I got the warning saying like low fuel. I'm like, are you sure? And I thought, oh god, no wonder I'm quicker than everybody. I've only got half the fuel of everybody else. So yeah, it's coming for a splash and dash, and then that was the end of that. But no, for 20 minutes there, I was enjoying life.
Yeah. No, well, we had some great action. I think stream is well worth a watch.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah.
Thanks for your work, Mick, with that.
Yeah, no worries. And well, only some rain in the first qualifying session. How was that for you? Tough?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most of the practice, well, virtually every practice server I've been in this week, it was absolutely sluicing down, and the track was waterlogged all the time, and I was actually getting quite used to driving in those conditions. It was only one practice server we had where it went from like a wet track to a greasy track. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, okay. Because I practiced for that, I saw that, and made sure I did the laps in those conditions.
Yeah.
They lasted for what? I mean, I sat in the pits in qualifying one for a good 7 or 8 minutes waiting for the track to go like not wet. And in the end, it just didn't. For whatever, so sun was burning out, and they're ploughing round, the other lads are going round, and the track just didn't change. And it got to about 6 minutes left. I thought, oh, I'm really going to have to put a lap in here. So I had to put the wets on. I'd been sat there in the pits with the dries already. I had to put the wets on and put a lap in the wet. But yeah, it was after that. Like I said, I knew I didn't have the pace in the dry. I had a chance in the wet. But yeah, 20 minutes in the sprint race, very much enjoyable. And if that's all I've got to take out the rest of the season, I'll be quite happy.
Oh well, there's always Bathurst to look forward to in 2 weeks.
Mate, that's
But
just
that will be
yeah.
a tough one.
The car doesn't steer at the best of times, so good luck with that one.
Oh well, thanks for hopping in for a chat, and
No worries, dude.
good luck
And
for the rest
say
of the
thanks
season.
again for all your help with everything.
No worries. Thanks
All
to
right,
you.
look after yourself.
Thanks.
And congratulations to the podium, by the way. I tried to do my best with blue flags. I have to say, there's a couple of people that I watched that aren't really that great at blue flags, and it's not that difficult to do, especially at Monza.
At Monza, it should be quite easy.
Yeah, it's easy to lose half a second or a second and just let the people through. But I noticed a couple of guys ahead of me that weren't doing that. So apologies on their behalf to the front runners, but I did my bit. And like I said, they all showed respect, and it was a good race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we didn't see that really on the stream, but at some point, Bram was
I'm sure
losing
in the
quite
chat
some
you might,
time.
especially if you speak to Eves, I'm sure he's got a story to tell about that because I could see a couple of people going in the background, and next minute that they weren't there. So
yeah, indeed.
all right,
Well,
thanks, me.
Yeah, thanks, Martin. See you, Nate.
Take care. I'm gonna have a shower. See ya. Bye.
Cheers. So a nice chat to Martin Hughes. Unfortunately, not the evening that he was looking forward to in terms of end result, but he did have some good racing throughout these two sprint races, 60 minutes and 30 minutes just before that. Yeah, great evening of racing, and as I mentioned a couple of times already, 2 weeks time, it's Bathurst, a regular on the calendar of the GT3 Masters. So 2 hours around the Bathurst circuit. Probably it's going to be a dry race, but well, with how the weather has been behaving, we'll never know. So we'll see you in 2 weeks time. If you like the stream, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed and you want to follow this season or RR leagues in general, subscribe to the channel, and you can find us on our website or Discord. Just look for RR leagues, and you'll be with us very shortly, driving or well, just being part of the community. So in 2 weeks time, Bathurst, and then we'll have a look at the final results after stewarding, etc. from this race as well. Many thanks for joining us tonight, and have a very nice evening. Cheers.